There we go. Fabuloso. So welcome. I cannot believe we're on week 3 of the second sessions already. Marketing part 2. And yeah, just really awesome because, oops, that didn't move. It moved before and it doesn't move when it's live, so I have to do it manually. There we go. So we're going to recap the part 1 of the marketing that we did in the last session. And I've got a task around that as well. Then we're going to take a look at marketing part 2. And then we're going to look at some action planning because I have a feeling not everything was actioned in part 1 marketing. So we want to make sure that we're doing that. And yeah, I just, this is it. Getting it out there and making sure that you are getting all of the opportunities that are absolutely available to everybody at the moment, which we're going to talk about some opportunities afterwards as well. Okay, so here we go. These are the 11 things that we talked about in part 1. Before I start going through these, your task is this. As we go through this, write down what you haven't done or what you need to review in here. And even if you have to go back and re-listen or re-watch, it was week 10. It was week 10 of the 12 weeks because there's some really good golden nuggets in there as well. So I had to go back and obviously take a look through all of that to write part 2 to make sure that nothing was was doubled up. So we're not doubling up on anything as well, which is great. So let's take a look at number 1, website. Do you remember I talked about the 8-second rule, the 8-second test? That when anyone kind of lands on your website, they're normally just there for 8 seconds. They're going to look around, and if your website doesn't load properly, or if it, they don't see what they want or can't navigate it properly, they are gone. So you might want to do that yourself. Now, interestingly, I was speaking with a company today called Weight Gym, and I do quite a lot of work with Weight Gym, and they have just gone through this process of swapping over to a new website that didn't navigate well, and they lost their momentum. For 3 months, they said they lost their momentum and lost sales. So, it can cost you money when that doesn't work properly. So I think, it really is a driving force that this kind of entire approach to your website and your online marketing needs to be looked at it, because we're surfing the web all the time. How many times do you just sort of do that yourself, bounce back and forth? So maybe if you want to retake a look at your website, ask a couple of your friends, say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you just take a look at it? Give me your honest feedback and see what they do. Because if they pop out in the 8-second rule, then you're kind of really in trouble. We're really in trouble. Next, we looked at emails. So sending more emails and finding our way either around email services, either sending a regular email, sending direct messages to people using MailChimp. Do you guys use MailChimp? What do you use?
So I've used some direct through Wix because my website's through Wix.
Right.
But I know I need to get more consistent with it, so it is on my list.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I have a Squarespace website. I don't use that. I use an external MailChimp. It's only because I paid up for the year. but I will probably look at other services afterwards as well, because I know there's some really good one. But it is really interesting, and I do love when I send an email. I sent one out after a webinar that I did last night, and that webinar really was, within an hour, I had a 60% open rate. It's really nice to see that. And then, of course, it equated to 1 sale today already. So, these things do work. They do need to be constant and and you do need to schedule them. Really, really schedule. So whether it be blogs that you're actually doing, getting those out in the emails, and just that constant contact of your customer base, which takes me on nicely to the next one, which is your database. How's your database going, ladies? Yeah, and gents that are going to watch this afterwards. It's really, really important that you build that large email database. It's really fascinating. When I take a look back at NutriChef, the company that I ran for 12 years, people often ask me how I went from zero to building a multi-million pound business within that 12 years. And honestly, several factors. But the one big thing I'm really sure of is that I had a Whopper Burger database. Yeah. So we had, 25,000 active customers. So it's not surprising that we could get a large email list out of that. But that is what you need to be aiming for, and that's what you need to build. So the menopause minefield webinar that I did gained me over 100 different brand new people I've never even connected with before. So there's 100 new people on my list just with doing an hour webinar. So what can you do? 30-minute webinar, giving your tips that you can attract people to get 100 people. So for me, it was worth it. Yeah, we worked for those 100 people, but we've got them now and we can continue selling to them. So you really do need to look at wonderful ways that you can help with that. Which takes me on to the next one. Social media is one of the best ways of doing it. Obviously there's all the advertising on social media that you can do. I don't like advertising on social media. I never really know what I get as a return. So I don't personally do it. I know some people are very successful at it. And again, speaking to the company Weight Gym today, they're very successful at it, but they pay a lot of money for it as well, for someone who's an expert doing it. For me, I'm happy just to do things on my own at the moment. It's bringing in what I need it to bring in. But you can look at Facebook remarketing. You can look at remarketing on many different platforms. It's interesting because once I started the conversations again with Weight Gym, that all on my social media, guess what's coming up? Weight Gym. And it works, and it's just like, oh God, it works in two different ways, right? It's like, oh yeah, I meant to do that, and I meant to sign up, or it goes the other way. It's like, no, I've had enough of this company now. Get them out of my way. But whichever way, remarketing is a really good way to actually do it. Referrals. Referrals is the next one. I love, 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 love referrals. And I think it's one of the best ways you can grow a highly successful company through that. And it's just word of mouth, which we're going to talk a little bit about afterwards as well. But, it's the word of mouth from one customer talking about your business to another customer, and working with people who are willing to do that. And they see the benefit as well. And that is imperative. Selling the benefits. Again, you can teach your referrals to sell the benefits of your business, and making sure that all your marketing is talking about the benefits and not features. I think there is a fine line between benefits and features, but really it's about the benefits. What kind of problem are you going to solve for your customer? And they want to know that. They really, really want to know, and make sure that that's what you're doing for them. Improving your sales skills. I'm always trying to do this. Sales is an interesting one. I think there's a lot of issues. Now, issues isn't the right word. Like for me, sometimes I find it difficult tooting my own horn, as they say, you know, and it's like getting out there and saying, do you know what I do is absolutely flipping fantastic, and you need this in your business, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that sometimes. And then I kind of get nervous. And do you know what? It happened last night on the webinar. We got through this amazing webinar and you know, we're having a really good chat. And then it came to like, we can help you. We've now got a solution. And I kind of fluffed it up. What is that? So anyway, it is always something everybody needs to work at, improving those sales skills. You know, we're not perfect. We're solopreneurs, we're entrepreneurs, we're mompreneurs, we're, you know, business womenpreneurs, you know, and so trying to do everything all at once, sometimes it's looking at the areas of your business. And I've always said this, and it's something that I used to say at NutriChef, money in before money out. So we used to concentrate on getting the money in, and then we'd concentrate on other stuff. So if you spend time, you know, doing that, improving your sales skills, then putting your sales skills to work and getting it in your diary, remember my little pink markers for sales, and working on that, I think is really, really great. And so whenever I get a lead come in, all those things are prioritized now. You know, I had a lead come in today. I followed it up straight away, and of course got a sale from it, because they said, wow, that was really speedy and I really did need you. It's like, there we go. So again, doing that is really good. The next one is joint ventures. Well, I think everyone's really good at joint ventures, but something again that needs to be a little bit tighter. And you know, I'm not really scared of teaming up with people who do something similar to me. I'm more of a people person, you know, and I think, well, if someone does something similar to me, then that's okay. We have different skill sets and we can complement each other. But it is around that person, and trusting that person isn't going to swipe business as well in these joint ventures, because I have been in that situation before as well. So, you know, really it's choose properly who you want to do a joint venture with, and really plan it out to the nth degree. And for me, I'm just really, really transparent. I will screenshot things. I will share things, you know, to make the person or the people I'm doing joint ventures with know that I'm being really honest in this joint venture. And I think that's why they've been so successful for me, because I am that transparent around it. And really, that's what you want as well. So my next one is added bonuses. I add bonuses to everything. And it's difficult sometimes trying to think of added bonuses that either, number one, don't cost so much, or number two, don't eat up too much of your time, but still add value. So you do really need to look at that as well. And if you can't think of anything, then at least send a thank you card. Yeah. That's an added bonus. There's so many different added bonuses that you can have. I got one the other day. It was really, really lovely. I was working with this client, and they sent me. It's so simple, so simple. I'm gonna rip the top page off, but it's just a little notepad. Yeah, and it was like to do or to delegate. I thought, oh my God, I love that. Dream big, start small, but most of all, start. Simon Sinek. And I just thought, do you know what? That is so lovely. And to me, that was an added bonus. It was unexpected. It came through the post. I mean, who loves posts these days? You know, it's like exciting to get post, isn't it? It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And it just came with a little thank you note. It's like, it's really great working with you. And I was like, wow, made me feel really special. So, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to work harder to do more work with them. So again, those little added bonuses just really, really help. Okay, so let's get into, okay, first of all, task-wise, are there some things on here I missed a couple. Sorry, testimonials and webinars. Testimonials are great. I mean, they are part of what makes up my social media. So it's really important to try to get some testimonials around there as well. And webinars are super. Honestly, it's last night's webinar was great. Not only did it click quite a few things. Number one, 100 new names. Number two, it makes you create presentations that you can reuse at another time as well. So you really want to, have something like that. Okay. So out of these, have you identified in your little task a couple of things that you would like to work on moving forward? Yeah. Thumbs up. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Great. So let's take a look now at these new 10 areas that we are going to take a look at tonight. We're going to look at relationship marketing, transactional marketing, scarcity marketing, word of mouth marketing, call to action marketing, viral marketing, seasonal marketing, PR marketing, event marketing, and freebie marketing. We're going to touch on all those this evening. Some of the things are going to be similar to what we talked about, but actually just in different ideas as well. And I think that you'll get a lot out of this, because it's just super important that we have these things that we can just constantly build on. So let's take a look at relationship marketing. So relationship marketing is really about you having 100% belief, in everything that you do for your business. And, I think that there's a lot of companies, and there's some like big brands out there that are building relationships with their customers instead of always trying to sell them something. And this, selling them something, that's the transactional marketing, which we're going to touch on afterwards. But it really is important here, because customers who love your brand, your brand, are going to spend more money. Now, let me grab something, because I think I may have talked about this book before. This is a branding assessment workbook. Have I ever showed you guys this? Okay, I have a couple of pages in here in a PDF, and I can send them to you if you want them. But basically what it is, this book goes through brand you, okay? And it's really, really good. I use it for myself. I use it with clients. I used it with my stepdaughter, Holly, when we did the Holy Grail. We went through the whole book to organize what her brand was really going to look like. So if you want that, ping me an email, because I will look through my PDFs. I just kind of made a little PDF of the book that I can send you. Work through it, because that brand you is super duper important. So I really want you to work on that as much as possible. But there's some really good relationship marketing ideas as well that I'd love for you to do that'll build that relationship with other people. And number one is networking. Yeah, networking online and offline, because this can be such a powerful marketing technique that you can use. So I love networking, but you have to go with an intent for it to be useful. Otherwise, do you know what happens? I come home, I bought this, I bought that, I bought this, except I haven't marketed myself. So be really careful not to fall into that. Okay, so you want to do some proper networking with people. You also, next one, you need to cherish your customers a little bit like this. which I'm going to add this in the freebie section, which we're going to talk to. But actually, this was also cherishing me as a customer. And even it can be a simple thank you note. It can be an email. It can be there's so many things that it can be. It can be a testimonial or that you give them. There's an app called Vinted. I don't know. They sell clothes. Did you guys know about Vinted? Yeah. So, my kids sell on Vinted, and I bought one or two things on there. What's really interesting on Vinted is that as soon as you purchase something and it arrives, you actually give feedback and you can rate the buyer, but they can also rate the seller. That rates the seller, but they can also rate you as a buyer. And it's really interesting getting feedback as a buyer. And so, it can go both ways. So when you have a customer, be prepared for feedback, but feedback them. Say, hey, you're a really awesome customer. Thank you so much. And sometimes we don't do that. We wait for the testimonial, but what about it going back the other way? Just thinking about those things. And the other thing is listening to your customers. Really listen. And I say this a lot because we almost become, I don't know, what's the word? Like too eager sometimes to sell. And so therefore we're not listening to their real needs. And for us to get it nailed on exactly, we need to listen and we need to ask questions of qualification. And those qualifying questions can pinpoint something a little bit more that you are going to actually sell them a solution to exactly what they need. And that's what's really great. Loyalty rewards as well. It's not something that I often do, but something I'm going to start looking into a little bit more, especially if it's on a product base. So I have a welcome discount, which I always give, but I'm going to start a loyalty that if they buy from me 3 times, I'm going to give them a discount, and just a one-off code that they use within a time, a scarcity, which we'll talk about afterwards. Okay. And then, then they have to buy at regular price. They'll understand this. And every 3 times they buy from me, they'll get a further discount. I love stuff like that. Whenever I go to coffee shops, do you ever collect these? Oh my God, it's so exciting. So this morning on our beach walk, we have a beach cafe that we go to, and I'm 1 coffee away from a free coffee. Guess what we're doing tonight after this? We're going to the beach cafe. I'm going to get that thing, it's stuff like that, right? People love it, but that's builds that relationship with the people, which is great. And communicating often. Communicate often with them in that relationship. Not too much, but often enough that they don't forget about you. Yeah. And then even taking a look at special events, something that I haven't done so much over the last couple of years, obviously in this pandemic, but I'm looking at special events again. Every year before, I used to hold like a little mini retreat that anyone could come to. And I used to do it free, and I used to get all my suppliers to supply loads of stuff. So anyone who did want to come, when the supply stuff was gone, it was gone, but they got to come and see me. And I'm actually planning one for October this year, which will be really great. And so watch this space for special events. And it is just a little thank you for everything. Okay, so the next one is around, that was our relationship marketing, wasn't it? That was relationship marketing. Now it's transactional marketing. So our transactional marketing is really just driving those sales, driving the sales all the time. It's difficult sometimes because a lot of our products are higher ticket prices, right? So they're not, low ticket price items. So they do come with explanation. And it's really important that we explain our product properly to make sure that they know what they're buying as well. So it comes back to that asking questions and listening. Those, qualifying questions are really important, but it really is around showcasing your full potential here. And so it becomes a no-brainer for them to buy. And that, again, comes down to some of the branding and tooting your own horn, right? So it's like, yep, I want it. Have you ever been in a position where you've just been like, they're halfway through their sales pitch and you're like, yeah, I want it. You can shut up now. I want it. I'm sold. That is how I'd really love to get myself, but also everyone in this. And that's being slick, writing things down, getting those 1 or 2 liners, being really clear what your offer is, and then just practicing and practicing. But you know what? When you break that down, is that normally the person that I'm talking to is very confident about it. So there is a confidence that comes with this, but I also think that they have assumed the sale. Yeah, they've gone into that and they're like, you know what? I know she needs it. So I'm going to assume she's bought it and just talk to her, or if they're talking to me, like they've bought it. And that to me really stands out. And so sometimes I just listen because I love to hear it. But it is also keeping to your word, and keeping to your word around that as well. Yeah, we're going to get rejected every once in a while from sales and from things. And I remember the rejections because I do go back and I do ask the rejection, why didn't I get the gig? Can you tell me? Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. It's really hard to hear sometimes, but it only makes it better the next time. Only makes it better. So, don't worry about that. The other thing is, don't be scared to give away too much. Now it's interesting because I'm about to do a tender for another bit of work, and I was speaking to someone today around it, and they said, oh, don't give too much, just give them a little taster of what you might want to do. And I thought, no, if someone gave me a taster without telling me everything that they can do, then I'd probably choose someone else, right? I mean, when you think about it logically, I'm trying to think logically about winning a tender. Aren't you going to tell them everything that you're going to do? And don't be scared to give that up. So I always think, it doesn't matter. Throw it all down. If they don't choose you anyway, it doesn't matter. You haven't lost anything. They're not going to take them. They're not going to take your ideas, or they're not going to give the other ideas to the other person, because if they didn't think about them and put them in there, then they're not going to know how to do them. So, there's so many different things. The other bit in transactional marketing is that on the rejection point, if you find out who did get it, contact them. Yeah, contact them, congratulate them, say, hey, I went for the same job. If you ever need any help, this was my pitch. If you ever need anyone, then let me know. I actually got work from something like that once, and it was with a chamber, Dorset Chamber, and I don't know, I pitched for something or other, I think to do some webinars on wellness, and they decided not to choose me. They decided to choose someone who was a member, which I get that. That's super cool. That was their reasoning, right? But I said, well, who was it? It's like, well, I knew who it was because they only have one wellness person as a member, right? So I contacted this training company in wellness, and they only did mental health training. And I said, hey, look, I went for it. This was my pitch. I said, if you ever need me to do a webinar, I'm your lady. I love it. I love what you're doing. Well done, you. Do you know what? They contacted me, and I did one. So don't be scared around stuff like that, because you really have nothing to lose. They could have said no, but then they still would have, thought about me at some point. So again, you want to assume that sale. You want to, make yourself stand out in every bit of the transactional marketing. The next one's scarcity marketing. I love this because you guys know my 72-hour rule. I love scaring people with the 72-hour rule. Do you know what that is? Yeah? Okay, yeah. Because it's so true. It's the law of diminishing effect, right? Because if you don't do something within 72 hours of saying you're going to do something, the law of diminishing effect kicks in, and the fact is you just ain't going to do it. Now, you also need to use this in your marketing because you now know that rule. So when you send an email, you either need to say, this is only up for 48 hours or this is only up for 72 hours. Because you want to know whether they're interested or not. And if they're not, then after 72 hours, you can recontact them and say, hey, I sent that out. Let me tell you about the 72-hour rule. If you really want this, I'm going to give you another 72 hours and then I am pulling it. So you either want it now or you don't. That kind of thing. Maybe that's a bit harsh, right? But it's not. It is around bringing that scarcity because you want to control what you can control, because everything else there's so much out of our control. If you can at least control that you're giving someone 72 hours and then you can contact them again, because you're almost giving yourself a permission to contact them again within 72 hours, then that is fantastic. Remember, send more emails, right? Send more emails. These purchase countdowns are great. So even countdowns to anything, countdowns to a launch, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, great. Send them the purchase countdown. It's like, oh, I've given you 72 hours to purchase this, 48 hours left, 24 hours left. It's like they can see it counting down. Boom, that is their call to action. Yeah. And I think those are really great. You can do anything. I mean, if you guys don't have online shops, but free shipping is a big one to me. It's like in the next 24 hours, you can get free shipping. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I send an email, again, after 12 hours, you only have 12 more hours to take advantage of free shipping. Otherwise it's, $10.99 kind of thing. And all that kind of stuff. So when you create a new program for your offering, it's like, hey, new program, you want this? This is the only time that I discount it. The only time I discount is ever on launch. There are never any discounts ever, ever, ever again. Never. That's what I've done with the Wellness Ambassador course. I launched it with discounts. I'm never discounting again. No, that's it. You either want it or you don't. I will add value, but I won't discount it again. So again, these are the types of things that you might want to look at. Limited editions. This is your limited edition offer. I'm offering a one-to-one consultation. This is a limited edition. This is what you're going to get. I've never done this before. You can have it. This is what you want. Count it down. It's open for 24 hours and it's only open for 5 people. That's it. All this kind of scarcity just gets people to jump and purchase your product. And that is really, really what you want. And then you can take that even further because you can get everyone else to yell about it as well. And that's your word of mouth marketing. And, this is, as we know, it's just passing information from people to people. Get them to share your offers. Work with people. When I first started doing a lot of Instagram, I got together with a couple of friends. I was doing a consultancy at Mr. Lee's Noodles. And I was working in at Mr. Lee's Noodles. I was their nutritional consultant 1 day a week. And I did that for 2 years. Oh my God, I loved working with them. They were a team of young people. They were all excited. And we just ate noodles like 1 day a week. It was brilliant. And I learned a lot around the word of mouth marketing and how people can team up together. And I've talked about this before. Whenever we would do a post, we'd tag each other in. And everyone would share it at that time. And it picked up all of the algorithms. All of the algorithms would pick it up. All of us, whether we were talking noodles or not, all of our Instagram got to a certain level really quickly because we were doing that. We just ended up clicking into it. So, this is a really, really good area to do that, which is why I say, what do I say? Tag me in so I can share it. If you don't tag me, I can't share. Or this is a good one. If you do a post on LinkedIn, why don't you screenshot it, throw it into the group on Facebook and say, hey, everybody, everyone can just like this so I can break the algorithm on LinkedIn for me, please. If we see it there, we can do something. Otherwise, you don't hit my algorithm. I can't see it. Don't assume I'm seeing it, or don't assume anyone else is seeing it, or anyone at all. Right? So if I want action with it and I want people to share it and shout about it, I ask them to do it. And this is word of mouth. Okay, we want to encourage that user generation content. We want to share these testimonials. We want to share our reviews as much as possible. And maybe we can do a little bit more in our group as well. Think of some ideas. How can we share a testimonial about your thing? Throw it into the group. Let us share it. That's great. If you have an offer or an incentive, I'll share them. Most definitely. I've got 14,000 people on LinkedIn, and I've got 15.5 or 15.4 on the Instagram. If you give me something to share, it might not be on a main post, but it'll definitely be in a story, and a lot of people see them. But if it's really good and relevant, I'll put it on my main post. And word of mouth marketing can also be that referral marketing as well. Yeah, don't forget, I offer a referral fee for anyone who refers to any part of my business. That is just a little thank you that you give back. But you need to be getting in touch with industry leaders, and social media is really good for that. So industry leaders, thoughtful leaders, get them to shout about your program. So you need to get in front of them. Really need to get in front of them and have a call to action. Okay, that call to action is massive, absolutely massive. And so call to action can be anything that gets traffic to your site, whether you get leads from it, whether you get sales from it, texts, you name it, whatever you get from call to action, then that is for you to scrub up on your sales techniques and sell it from there. So you need to learn conversion strategies, which are always hard. We're going to talk about that in sales part 2. But those, that's really where we're at. So you need to have like hook, line, sinker. You need to have a killer call to action, right? Call me now. Yeah, book now. This is what you're going to get. And have those strong verbs in there. Sometimes people just need to be told. Sometimes, I'm what was it the other day? Someone sent me something, and do you know what? It was so long and fluffy that I still even haven't read it. And I was just like, and then they emailed me again. Barbara, have you looked at that? And I was like, what do you want me to do? Honestly, I said, look, I'm really busy. Just tell me what you want me to do with it. And do you know what I think? I think a lot of people are like that. Just tell me what you want me to do and put it in. And then, give your audience a reason for that desired action. You're building up. Then tell them what you want to do. You got 5 hours left to buy this. Do you want it or not? You want some more information? Email me now. Yeah. You really need to evoke that emotion, evoke that enthusiasm around what you have to offer, because it's that enthusiasm that has this great call to action, and kind of go from there. And you know what? Take advantage of FOMO. I love FOMO. Fear of missing out. FOMO. Love it. And it's like, if you can build, a little bit. I've sold 7 already, and there's only 3 left. Right? aren't you going to look back at that email and think, wow, she sold 7. What the hell have I missed? It's like, do you need me to send the email again? This is the offer again. There's 3 left. There's so much, and even I think to myself, oh yeah, I should have done that last night. But call to action marketing is something we really do need to work on. So that gives you some really good steps. Okay, viral marketing. This is a really interesting area and still something I haven't really cracked so much, but this is really with those cult brands. They can do that viral stuff because they're a cult brand. And people like David Beckham, he just has to sneeze and it's viral, right? I mean, it's if you can get like that, then it's great. But that is really when everyone is sharing it. You need to have something really good that people want to do it. But it can also be about getting your customers talking about it. Go viral with your customers and go viral with us in the group. Yeah. And this is really how Mr. Lee's Noodles built huge followings with this style. Everyone jumping on it at the same time within a short amount of time. It's like, okay, you can't do it tomorrow. We were all in the office and it'd be like between 2 and 3. Social media office would say in the morning, okay, great, we're going to post in the morning. Between 2 and 3 this afternoon, everyone stop what they're doing. Yeah. Get on your social media and get it viral. And so we were allowed to stop everything that we were doing always between 2 and 3 in the afternoon to really work hard at getting it viral. And that's how they built it. And we did that for 2 years. And I would imagine they still do it between 2 and 3 every day. Now they have a budget and they have a team to do that. But that's how they drove sales. Yeah, huge amounts of sales. So just think about that. So maybe we need to almost get together in the group and say, you know what? Are we going to help each other with some viral marketing? Even if it's 1 day a week, even if it's every Tuesday for an hour or half an hour before we come on here. Because I tell you what, half an hour before we're doing these webinars is kind of a lull time for me. If we have a targeted time, half an hour before the webinars, that we're all doing something to help each other, maybe we could be using that time a little bit better. Yeah, instead of me like fuffing around with my lipstick, I'd rather be on social media helping you. I'm sure you don't mind if I don't come to the webinar without my lipstick on, right? Yeah. So, I think we need to put our heads together and almost have like a team meeting on this. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to put that in the group. Let's have a team meeting. How can we support each other social media wise? Okay, so I've got some more ideas on viral marketing, and I learned all these from Mr. Lee's Noodles. We need to prepare for that, okay? And preparation was big. And this is maybe what we need to do is we need to prepare a little bit more for ours and have a meeting. And we had set times all the time. We also had a target audience. We had our hashtags ready. We had everything ready beforehand that we were going to do. What are we doing? Are they going to be HR hashtags? Are they going to be corporate wellness hashtag? Are they going to be wellness hashtags? Are they going to be noodles hashtags? Because they ain't going to help us. Do you see what I mean? If we choose the right stuff that are going to help, then there's no point in putting noodles in anything that we do. So why don't we have a meeting about what is really going to help us get to where we need to be? We've talked hashtags before. Remember how we have the new ones each month? Yeah. Oh my God. And I never did that. Right? Slap my hand and write myself a note in my nice little to-do pad from Simon Sinek. Right. To do. Barbara. Monthly hashtags into group. We need to do that because it's just going to help our businesses so much. Clear messaging was the next one. Okay. We need to have those clear messages and we need to find the right channel. So there's no point in us all being on different channels. We chose one channel to do this. That was Instagram. Okay. Are we choosing a channel? Are we going to do it on LinkedIn? Because I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to get more engagement on LinkedIn, wouldn't you? And I think this is the only way we can really get that LinkedIn. We need to work on incentives for everyone who shares. You know, it's like, hi, sweetheart. It's like little hellos and thank yous and all those kinds of great things. And then working on people's emotions with that. What are we going to do? What are we doing in the group that's really good for wellness? Yeah, or even how are we supporting each other as a group? You know, all those kinds of things. Those are great testimonials that we can add as well. And then we can do some visuals around it. You know, maybe it's doing something fun, like us all getting on a Zoom for 5 minutes and all saying one little wellness tip. I record it. Can you imagine us all on here, 18 of us? It's like, here you go. This is how we start. This is how we do it. Yeah, this is how we do it. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone say one thing. Holy frig, I was going to swear then. Holy, don't you think that would go viral? Let's do it. Oh, I love that idea. I love that idea. But you see, then you can share it with your people. They're going to think, wow, that's really cool, Dawn, or that's really cool, Nikki. I'd love to do that with my business. Say, hey, I can come in and we can do it. Okay, can you see how these great kind of things can go really viral? I think something like that could go really viral. We should do that. Okay, gonna go on the to-do list. Now I know why they sent me this pad and paper. So let's do a viral message. Yeah, from the wellness ambassadors. We can tag all of our companies. Do you think that's a good idea? Or am I just like going off on one? Yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah, we should do that. That's good. We'll do that. Okay, carrying on. We have, are we done? Seasonal marketing. Seasonal marketing is great. I use seasonal marketing all the time. Yeah. I was just talking about one today. Do you know what? I was asked by a company to take a look at an advent calendar already, healthy advent calendar. And I was like, yeah, my brain is already in seasonal marketing. Yeah, 12 days of Christmas, advent calendars, you name it, we're there. Build that seasonal email list, which is great. Seasonal promotions, seasonal products. You know, 'tis the season at any season. Every month is a season for marketing. You can choose it. You have your daily offers if you wanted to as well. But I love Black Friday. How crazy is Black Friday come? In what, maybe 3 or 4 years? If you don't have a Black Friday offer, you are missing out. Okay? So again, another one is special days of the year. Every single day of the year seems to be some special day. It's like, you know, a special day of the year. And you could have one offer ever. But can you see all these different ways that you can parcel it up? Just in different ways, and you're going to reach other people just with different hashtags and stuff, you know. I mean, it's just great. Valentine's is another really, really good one. Yeah, I just think there's so many different things that you can do. I mean, I love talking about sexy food. Talk about sexy food all the time. Valentine's is great. You know, I start it beforehand. It's like, hey guys, do you want to cook your other half a dinner? You need to speak to me about what sexy food, yeah, to have a nice evening afterwards. Yeah, you know, I mean, honestly, I market that to men. You wouldn't believe the messages I get. Yeah, it's like, oh, can you just help me put a dinner together? It's like, yep, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Got it all ready. Boom. You know, there's so many crazy things you can do. Honestly, seasonal marketing is great. Big one, last one, we're going to finish off is PR marketing. PR marketing is really good, and you guys should be doing press releases all the time. If you have something new, anything that you're doing, do a press release. I've just spent £150 on a media list. I haven't seen it yet, but if it's good, I will share some media contacts free of charge. because you guys are great. Okay. But let me see the list first before I can share it out. But honestly, you should be doing press releases. If you're doing anything in well-being, you need to be hitting the well-being press, because they're always looking for stories, especially online. They have 365 days that they need to post something. They need something from you. But it's difficult to know who to send it to, right? So you kind of need to look at your objectives with this, and find the right people that you need to send it to. If you belong to chambers, and you need to be sending it to them, you need to get your list together of who's in your local community, and build those relationships with your journalists and your niche experts locally. Local radio is another one. How fun is that? How often are you, I don't know, even sending something? Do you know what? Something popped up in my Facebook today. I used to go into hot radio. That's a normal, that's a little radio station. And they used to let me in free because once a quarter, and I didn't overstep my mark with this, but once a quarter, I used to say, look, I'd love to bring everyone a really healthy breakfast once a quarter. I will bring everything and gifts for everybody. And again, I used to get a bunch of stuff. If you just give me a shout out. Free shout out for that. But not only that, I'd record it, I'd video it, I'd do all these kinds of things. Sometimes they'd let me stay in, sometimes they'd let me speak, but not often. They couldn't do that, but they'd be shouting out about my business. Hey, Barbara from BC Nutrition has brought us this, oh my gosh, look at this is great. Just think of some fun ways that you can do some public relations. Honestly, I'm sure that they would appreciate it. And they will let you do, it's amazing what they'll let you do if they don't let you speak. Yeah? Honestly. Last one, honestly, there we go, event marketing. And I love event marketing because this is a really creative way to drive sales. And, you need to set your budget for this, because it can just go wherever. Set the budget for your event and then be quite creative around that. And that event can be like the webinar I held last night. It cost me nothing. Yeah, it cost me nothing besides time organizing it. And, I've got a database of a new 100 people, and I've got one sale from it already. And I'm just going to keep on going with it. So, you need to leverage it. Get special events. Hey, I've said to you before, if you guys want me to organize an event to showcase something you want to do, I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's get it out there. What are we going to talk about? How are we going to do it? And is it relevant? And let's go. And just kind of go from there, and promote it in the right places as much as all. I've lied. It's not the last one. Freebie marketing is, because I love my freebies. And they can be, again, something as simple as this. I've spoke about it so much, haven't I? And it really is true. Just a little to-do list on a little pad of paper, and I'm sure they're not very expensive. But this effective freebie strategy doesn't have to be something free with that. It can be a free one-to-one. It can be time. It can be a discount voucher. It can be something else that someone else offers. It's like, oh, buy my service, or come on to this program and you get a free webinar with Barbara. Yeah, that's already pre-recorded, that I've already done. And it's nothing for me, but actually you're promoting me and you're giving me help. So I'm going to create you something really nice. But why not? Why not? I've said to you before, you can give away Eat to Be Fit as an ebook. It's free. Come on to my course. You can have Eat to Be Fit, all that kind of stuff. But again, use everything else. Limited time, count them down. Can you see how all of these blend together and work together, and kind of go from there? So hopefully, I'm going to go back up, because let's just recap those really quickly. We talked about the relationship marketing. We have our transactional marketing, our scarcity marketing, word of mouth marketing, call to action, viral. Really, really, really want to do this viral thing now. Seasonal marketing, PR marketing, event marketing, and freebie marketing. Mix all that with what we did before, looking at your website, making sure your website reaches that 8-second rule. The emails are hot, your database, you're building. And remember, if you're using MailChimp, that as soon as you do your event, which is in the next one, right? Your event, you lose that database. So you must download that CVS file first, okay? So there's lots of things to know, but ask, let's work together on these. You want your social media, you want your referrals, you want selling your benefits, improving your sales. So when you get the leads from everything else you're doing, it helps. And then you can just run testimonials on how you have done. You want to look at webinars. I really think this is a good way for everybody. Joint ventures, we're doing those joint ventures anyway and moving forward with those. And there's more to come because I'm applying for something which could really bring some more. But I'll tell you about that if that's successful. And then again, added bonuses as much as possible. So there we go. We are done for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, I love working with you all. And if you have any questions, and just send me a message. For those of you who didn't catch this live, again, the replay is going to be there, and I'm going to pop that in the group. But wishing you a fabulous rest of the week. I am always here to help and support. Use me as much as possible. Any ideas you have, any ways that you feel I can improve, feedback goes both ways. Feel that I can improve and help you and service you more, then you have to ask. And I'll decide if I want to help or take it on board. Have a great, great, great evening. The weather is still nice down here in Bournemouth, and we are going to go for a beach walk. I'm going to top and tail my day today with a beach walk, which will be lovely. So have a wonderful evening. Thanks, as always, for joining, and I'll see you next week.
Take care. See you next week. Bye. Bye.